Hello everybody, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. This video is definitely going to be a little bit different than the ones that I normally do just because this is actually kind of surprising. This is the first time this weekend, July 4th weekend, that I've ever done, let's call it like, I don't know, a shop drop, I don't know, for as long as I've been doing crochet, which has been, I think this is my third year doing this. I've never done any type of drops before, none of that. As you guys know, I used to never do anything with safety eyes. I feel like for a really long time, I was like, you know what, I'll just start making my own eyes for myself. And then Loops and Knots Crochet, Sarah, ended up contacting me one day and asking me about painting eyes for her, and I swear I just kind of started to spiral because I used to never paint eyes, and I feel like since I started painting her eyes, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try a little bit more. So if you want to blame anyone, blame her. But I did decide to do my first ever shop drop. So I completely redid my website. I have been on Squarespace for a very long time, but I was getting ready to hit, I think like June something was going to be like the redo of my website, and I kind of wanted to move all of my websites onto one platform so I didn't have it so spread out, and I ended up deciding to go with Shopify for my normal website and moving it over so my website's completely different. It looks very similar to Knotty Pony just because I kind of want like that theme and everything. It's very blue. I just like blue. I will say, if you guys are ever wanting to like do a website for your business and you don't want anything that's like difficult to put together, or like something that's like really straightforward, really easy, very user friendly, and not really having like extra fees, Shopify likes to like, there's always like these extra add-ons. And for like example, my website, I have to have locked pages because of Patreon and Squarespace. I didn't pay anything for a locked page. Shopify, I think I pay like $9 or $15 a month for having locked pages. If you're ever wanting to start a website, I definitely would recommend looking at Squarespace. Maybe give Squarespace a little bit of time, and then if you end up wanting to keep your website, look at Shopify. I do find Squarespace to be like just so much more easier just starting out. But I ended up moving my eyes, and I haven't made my plushies. Like, I haven't put them over there because I just can't even think about that right now. Like, that is so much to do. I was like, let me just like one thing at a time. Right now, currently, it has been super hot in Georgia, just like a lot of other places. But the reality is that when it's hot like this, it's almost like when it's really freezing cold in the winter time with my barn. If you guys don't know, I run a horse farm full time. You know, in the winter time when it's freezing cold, when you have ice, when you have snow, everything is so much more involved. There's so much to do. Well, the same thing can be said for when it's extreme heat. There's a lot more that has to be done with the horses. It's just a lot. So lately, I've pretty much been like out the door at like, 4:45, and then not even really getting in to sit down until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And that's only for like an hour or two before I have to go back outside and go back to work with the barn. I usually come inside for like an hour or two after I clean the barn and everything. So like from like 8 to 10, I'll come in here and work. And then I go back out afterwards, and then go back out to the barn about like 10:30 and do things out there. So there's just hasn't been as much time. And I was like, I just got to get the website up. I just got to get the website up. And so I wanted to come on here and kind of show you guys what we have. The one thing for this weekend only is I have my limited edition eyes. So technically I only have one pair left in the box, and I'm trying to make this plushie for like photos for the eyes and everything, but literally yesterday my plan was to get it done. I'm gonna try and get it done today and everything, but my plan was to get it done, and I quite literally, like, I was nonstop for 12 hours yesterday. It was like 98. That was the actual temp, and then with the humidity it was like 115. I was just outside for like 12 hours. I got everything done here. Then I had to drive to another barn, work on horses. I think I did like 25,000 steps yesterday, and I just didn't. So by the time I ended up coming in here and actually sitting down, like, I just like, I couldn't stand. I ended up like going down on the floor and just kind of like passing out for like 20 minutes. And then I got up and I felt a little bit better. I do think like I'm not really affected by heat too much. Like I find heat to be more annoying in the regards that it's a lot to deal with horses and animals. I hate how it affects like animals. For me personally, I don't care, but I think being out there for so many hours, like I barely ate. I have been barely sleeping recently because I'm just like stressed about the heat and everything. So I've been getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and it just was not it. So the plan was to get this done, and then I just like zonked on the floor, and then the rest of the night I kind of was not here. I think I might have had to touch a hint of heat exhaustion because my cheeks felt like so hot and I hadn't really been out in like direct sun, but I feel better today. I feel okay, but I wasn't able to finish this guy. So this is the silver eye that is the limited edition drop. These are like holographic eyes. So you can only get these eyes this weekend. So I have the silver pair, I have the blue pair, I'll post a picture here. And then actually Sarah from Loops and Knots has the purple and green pair. So I'll post the pictures that she made using that for her dragon. And it was super cool. She used like a two-tone, like mismatch eye type situation on it. And it was so good. I have wanted to do mismatch eyes on some of my plushies, but I guess I don't really have a reason to claim because I'm always like, well, what do you do with the other? I can just make it a pair again. Kinda not smart. So today my plan is I'm gonna try and finish this witch kitty so that way I can post it and everything. But these are the silver holographic eyes. I absolutely love them. They're like perfect if you want glitter and shine and sparkle and all of that without color shifting, because you will see I did redo the entirety of my core collection. I redid my core collection. I added onto my core collection. I feel like when I originally did my core collection, which was probably 2 years ago, right when I first started out doing like painting eyes. And like I said, it was just something that I really was only doing for myself personally. And then if Sarah contacted me, I would do eyes for her, but I really wasn't like selling them. I wasn't promoting them, nothing. I don't think anybody wanted my eyes except Sarah. And so my core collection for a long time, it was okay, but like I felt like a lot of the eyes didn't necessarily reflect with like the things that I enjoy painting these days. I really like color shifting. I really like complementary colors. Back then, I just kind of did like random eyes that I did for like a particular plushie, and then I would just post it and be like, oh, this is it. But I'm not doing that anymore. I have a little bit more style, I guess I would say now. So I'm going to show you guys the eyes. I do have photos and stuff that honestly it might be a little bit easier to show than to sit here and show you guys each the individual eyes. I was honestly complaining for so long about not having, really like any eyes to personally use for my own plushies, but remaking all of these eyes, I have a lot of eyes that I can use for my plushies now. So I guess that's one good benefit out of sitting there and painting all those eyes. Figuring out the back colors is like really hard. So some of the eyes I did carry over from my original collection. I want to say from the original collection, a couple stayed, not too many, because honestly, like I said, a lot of the eyes that I did originally just are not quite my style anymore. But I did have some that stayed. So I will show you some of them, and as well you can find them on my website. There's photos, videos, the whole thing, just because I don't know how it's gonna look on my camera. So I had in my little pouch some of my Patreon eyes from last month. I'll show you guys these, but if you're not a part of the Patreon, like part of the paid tiers, you won't be able to access these eyes because they're protected by a code. And now if you become a part of the paid tiers and you want to be part of the Safety Eye Club, then you do get the access code. You get to access any of the previous tiers that I've done. And also one of the new things I've done is every single month you get a discount code for the eyes. That way if people ever want to grab like repeats, they can. This is one of the eyes from not last month, because last month was all beach theme. I want to say from May, because May we did all kind of themes with green. Like this one is another May eye, and those are Patreon eyes. So Like I said, you're more than welcome if you want to check out my Patreon to join the eye tiers. Last month was beach. This month we are doing ice cream, and I'm pretty certain that the main eye that I'm doing is coffee, mint chip, and then strawberry. So I'm pretty excited to do that one. But let's go over some of the new eyes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to remember all of the names because I'm not great at naming, so we'll just start with them. This one I think is really unique. I really like it because look at this color shift. This gold pink tones, I love it. I feel like my eyes nowadays are more in line with the eyes that I want to use for my products. I'm really big into like color shifting, really shiny, sparkly eyes. I'm not the biggest pastel person. I've never been really big into pastels or light colors. I'm much more like darker, vibrant colors just because I feel like those like really pop on plushies. The pastel colors to me just get really muted. So I definitely lean into the brighter, shinier things. This is, I believe, now that I actually think about it, I think this one could be called Viper because even though it's not green, to me, when I think about vipers and snakes, like I think about the scales, and I'm pretty obsessed with snakes. I really like snakes. I don't have a snake. I don't think I've ever want a snake, but I feel like snakes are so beautiful, like cottonmouths and everything. And I love like the tones that their scales have and how they change in the light. So to me, that's kind of what that reminded me of, where like it's gold until you shift it just a little bit, and then it's got those really pretty like pink undertones. So I'm pretty certain I did call that one Viper. Some of these I might remember, just have to remember. So this is a eye that has always been a part of my thing. This is Fury. That has been on my website before. It's what I typically use for like my night furies and everything. This is a new eye. This is another green one. So this one is evergreen. Not as much of a gold tint, but really pretty, just green eye. And then I want to say this one is candy apple, maybe? Lots of color shifting on this one. I love this one. This one is a little bit different, not as color shifting. I've used this a lot on my Umbreons, things like this. This is a returning eye. This is Campside. Still got a really pretty shift to it, just not as extreme. And this one is a favorite of mine. I have loved this eye. I use this eye so much on so many different things. Like if somebody had to just get an eye and not really have like a project in mind, I'd probably point them to this one. So this is Aqua. Aqua is also stunning on white pupils. I have painted this on white pupils for orders. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. Not much more to say on that one. This is also a returning eye. This is Moonlight. Got a lot of moons in it. A little bit different. I have a Galaxy one on my Patreon, but that one has a lot more going on versus Moonlight's just kind of like a core staple. This one is Starlight. This is great for people who just want a really pretty gold eye. A lot of color shifting. Like I said, I did carry over some of my previous eyes. So I want to say this one could be Obsidian. I did previously have an Obsidian, but I personally got rid of that style. I didn't like painting with the type of materials I had. So this is the new one, and as you can tell, it's very silver, pink, shifting. Believe this one is Amethyst. Naming eyes is like one of the hardest things ever to me. I'm not a name person, so this one is gorgeous. This was one I just like came up with last night, and I really like how this one looks. I have a few pattern tests that I'm doing, shocking pattern tests, I know. And I feel like I might have to use the Amethyst eyes. And then this is another one that I personally love. Doesn't always get ordered a ton, but I love it. This is Nightfall. This was actually, I think, one of the first eyes I ever like sat down and made. And let me look. I think I have a couple more. Guys, I'm starting to get some eyes in my collection. This is my personal eye box, but don't be fooled because sometimes I put eyes in here and they have problems. And I don't like to give like my Patreon people problem eyes. If I see an issue, like I'll keep them, and sometimes they're just like minor problems, like little dots or, you know, maybe speckles or something got in a color that I didn't want. and I just keep them for myself to use because they're still fine for me to use, but yeah, it makes me look like I have so many more eyes than I do. Okay, I feel like everything else is a Patreon eye, and I believe these are the last ones. This is the pair that I have left over from the holographic ones that are blue that I definitely need to find something to do with because I love blue. So pretty, these eyes. So this is one of the limited edition eyes for this weekend. Really beautiful, I love it. Okay, last three I'm pretty certain. I don't know the name on this one. Did I even name it? A really pretty silver, but has some blue tones to it. This one is really beautiful, but I can't tell you what I named it. So we got this one. Lots of pink shifting. And then this is the last one, which I'm pretty certain this one's called Psychic. When I have made my Pokemon, particularly Espeon, this is the eye shade that I like to use on my Espeons. I just do it with white pupil. So, very beautiful. So I wanted to come on here, show you guys this. I've never really done a shop drop before. Like I said, the limited edition eyes are really the ones that are staying for just this weekend. And then everything else is kind of like a new core collection eye. And then depending on how like the drop goes, if people are interested in me doing more, I might do more in the future with limited edition eyes. Besides that, I'm getting ready to start figuring out the pre-order process for the advent calendars. I pretty much have all the materials. It's just putting together a mock box and then doing some promo and stuff, and then I'll have those up for pre-orders. And besides that, I got some orders I have to paint, and I got Patreon eyes to fulfill. So like I said, if you want to join the Patreon, feel free to check it out. And yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I do have some more vlogs coming up. It's just been, like I said, crazy with me trying to do anything with this heat recently. So hopefully it will like get to be a little bit more back to normal summertime heat, not like 100 degrees at the beginning of July. This is like August weather for us, so I'm not really in love with that. But I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.